Hey, what's up guys? Today we'll be drawing Yamper from Pokemon. In this short video tutorial, we'll be going over the step-by-step of how to create this Yamper drawing from start to finish. Beginning with roughing in the basic shapes and form with pencil, then refine the rough sketch with detailed line work. After that, we're going to trace the pencil drawing with marker, then color in the highlights, midtone, and shadows. And finally, trace the profile lines with marker again to complete this drawing. Now, feel free to go through the video chapters in the description below and skip to the part where you need to look at. Okay, so let's take a look at the materials we need for this drawing. You're going to need a pencil, a black marker, an eraser, and some crayons. Now, the colors I have here with me is a dark green and a light green for the ears, and this tattoo right here on his hip. And also right here we have a brown for most of the shadow. So we have a red for the tongue and inside the mouth, which I overlay with a brown for the shadow. And then we have an orange tan for the body, and I have the brown for the shadow. And a yellow for all these yellow areas, and also I'm using the brown again for the shadow. Okay? Because brown actually works very well for shadow areas on most of the warmer colors like yellow, orange, red. It works very well. Alright, so feel free to draw along and pause the video whenever you like to catch up with me, okay? Now before we start our drawing, let's take a look at a reference picture of Yamper and find out what shapes and forms we can use to create our drawing. Okay, so let's start the face off with a circle. Now drawing my cross to help me locate the facial features later on. Now Yamper's ears are two leaf shapes. Okay, and then the fur around the neck is actually in the shape of a giant egg, almost. And then the body is a big oval. Okay? We'll draw a couple of curves on the bottom for the legs, and the little feet are oval shapes too. And this thunder tail on the back can actually make it from two triangle shapes. Okay? Let's do that again, okay? So we have a circle for the head. We're going to draw in our cross. Okay, we're going to put in two ears in the leaf shape. The giant egg shape for the neck. Oval for the body. Some curves for the leg. Ovals for the feet. Two triangles for the tail. Right? Now let's take a look at which direction the lighting is coming from. It's going to help us color in the highlight, midtone, and shadows later on. So in this particular drawing of Yamper, I can only see one very apparent, actually two very apparent highlight areas. So right here we have a little bit of highlight that is lighter in color, and right here in tail a little bit lighter. But a lot of shadow areas though. So we have a shadow underneath the ear, again the body, neck. So from all that, okay, we have a lot of nice form shadows on the body, and then there's some cast shadow on the ear. Okay, so we know pretty sure that the lighting is coming from top down. Now that we have all the information we need for our drawing, let's start with roughing in the basic shape and forms. Now this step looks very simple, but I actually consider it to be the most important stage of the drawing because it is actually the foundation of everything else that comes after. See how I draw very, very lightly at this stage? It is to avoid committing to any lines too soon. When I start to refine the drawing in the second, the more definitive lines that I'm willing to commit to, I will draw heavier. And the rough sketch will feel like it's fading away as my refined line work emerge from the basic forms and shapes. Now another tip for drawing circular shapes, we have a lot of circular shapes including like the head, the body, the neck, the feet, and so on, is to draw the four corners of that shape first. Say if I'm drawing an oval, I will draw the four corners and get it kind of located exactly where I want it, kind of like four anchors. And then I'll draw the other four corners to define the shape, the circular shape a little bit more. Then I connect all of them together to create my circular shape. Now this technique will give you a lot more control of your shape, okay? So give it a try. If you're not happy with what you have right now, keep working on it until you do. Make sure your anatomy and compositions are good. Now we're learning from the reference picture. Okay, learn the anatomy, learn the composition, learn how the character should look like officially. Okay, so double check with that picture, and if you think it is ready to go, let's start refining the drawing. Now another tip for you when you trace your pencil lines with the marker is to keep rotating your paper to produce smoother lines. And remember that you don't have to finish a long line with one single stroke. You can break it up into several strokes, just make sure that it looks continuous. Okay, so let me show you. Let's say I'm drawing this line for the front of the neck, okay? There's one long curve, but watch this. One stroke. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It actually took me 7 strokes to complete this one single curve line, but it looks continuous. Okay, so don't try to score it like with one single line. Okay, that is extremely hard, and most likely like your lines are going to be off. All right. So with all that being said, let's start tracing. When you erase the pencil drawing, make sure you hold down your paper with the other hand so that you won't risk wrinkle or crease up your paper, okay? So the next step is coloring. Most objects you draw will have highlight, midtone, and shadows. Alright, so now on paper you can overlay colors to make it look darker, but we can really overlay colors to make it lighter. So I'm going to mark off where the highlights are and just color the rest with the midtone. And then I'll overlay the shadow on top of the midtone. Okay, it's going to give me a very nice effect. So let's take a look where we have highlights, we have shadow, got some highlights right here, which I will mark off, you'll see very shortly. Some highlights right there, and then overlay all these like shadow. Okay, but for this stage alone, I'm just going to color all the areas with the midtone first. Okay? Now when you color, also try to color in the direction of the form instead of the drawing, and instead of drawing random directions, okay? So let me demonstrate. So if I grab the yellow for the fur, okay? Instead of doing just whatever direction it is, try to follow the form. Does that make sense? Okay? Alright, so I'm going to either start with the lightest color or the smallest area. So now I'm probably going to start off with the mouth, to take care of that, and then the green, yellow, and then the brown. Okay? So let's get started. Now that we have all the midtone colors in our drawing, let's take a look at the shadows, okay? So for the shadows, you'll find out majority is on the bottom side of the character, okay? The bottom side of the form because the lighting is coming from the top down, okay? Now we have some, most of it is form shadow. So the form shadow is when the shadow follows the form of the object. We also have some cast shadows, so right here would be like a cast shadow from this part of the ear onto this part of the ear. That would be like a cast shadow, okay? So now I know without the shadows, the drawing looks very flat, but just watch this, okay? See how after we put in the shadow, the whole drawing becomes a little bit more dimensional? That's because with your highlight, midtone, and shadow, everything will read as 3D forms instead of 2D flat shapes. Now, I know this looks complete already, but we're going to make it look even better by making the profile outlines thicker. Now the profile lines are the outermost borderlines of each major forms, including the ear, the head, the body, the tail, and so on. Little detail lines like the face or the toes, those are detail lines. Those are not profile lines. So by making those profile lines thicker, your character will pop off the page even more. Okay? So let me show you how it works. Okay, and there we have it, Yamper from Pokemon. Remember, drawing is like playing the piano. You can have the best instructor and the best music sheet in front of you. You might even know the music very well, but it is only through practice that you will get better and become what you want to be. The whole point of my video is to provide a side-by-side training for you on a daily basis, like riding a bicycle. I might have to hold your bike for you in the beginning, but just keep drawing, and before you know it, you'll be flying. Alright, that's it folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this drawing tutorial. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to draw next, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.